It's so important to be clear on the intention behind the voiceover script that you're providing the voiceover artist in advance of the session. If you're not clear on intention, then how can they be? If you're vague on intention, then it's likely to be a vague experience for the end user, the potential customer or client. Before hitting record, the voiceover needs to understand why they are saying something. They need to know what you want your audience to think, to feel, and to do as a result of this. It's really helpful if you could take a look at the script again before delivering to the voiceover artist with this in mind. Also, prior to delivering the script, the final script to the voiceover artist for the session, read it out loud yourself. Does it work? Does it sound like something that was meant to be read in your head on the page? Or does it ideally flow in a more natural and conversational manner if that's what you are aiming for? Really though, no matter the style, tone, or intention behind the script or the effect you want to have on the audience, being as clear about all of these thoughts in the lead up to the session and then when we come on to the actual session itself will result in a recording very closely aligned to the original vision for the project. It's even helpful to choose what role you want the voiceover artist to play. In recording, the role that they are never playing is voiceover artist. Instead, maybe they are satisfied customer who wants to shout from the rooftops about the benefits of the product. Or perhaps they are an educator, or a potential customer seeking out a solution that your product or service provides. A truly skilled voiceover artist should be able to subtly and realistically play numerous roles. As we're closing in on the recording, what method do you want to use? Do you want to simply provide the script and all the information and let the voiceover just go with it? In many cases, and in much of the work that I do, this is how it works. The client with whom I've built a relationship, they trust me to get on with the work. But if it's a new voiceover relationship, you might want to sit in on at least the first session. Perhaps the client themselves, people holding the purse strings, shall we say, want to sit in on the session. Or maybe you want to very clearly direct to make sure that you've got enough options for the edit. Not all voiceover bookings automatically come with the ability to direct the session. If it's a low-budget project, then don't necessarily expect that the voiceover will provide a directed session facility. When it comes to dialing in or sitting in on the session to guide, to direct, to give feedback, or to give thumbs up for the best takes, there are a number of different ways of doing this. You may already have a preference, or if you're unsure, the voiceover will be able to guide you through a number of different options that will suit both parties. It may be that you want to use something like Source Connect, or Clean Feed, or IPDTL. These systems enable you to connect live, almost as if the voiceover artist is in the room with you, in the traditional manner of recording a voiceover where the client, director, producer, and the voiceover exist in the same physical space together. If you're working with a professional voiceover, they will have this facility lined up and ready to go. And they will be delivering full-on broadcast quality audio down the line live to you. This is live capture. You will then immediately have those recordings at the end of the session, which you can pass to your editor to get working on straight away. If you don't need a live session in which you are receiving audio in that moment, then you can still live direct the session by connecting in a more simple way. So, for example, I often connect with clients using Zoom audio or FaceTime audio, or even just a phone call where I am in my recording booth with an earbud. The client can hear the session, the recording as it goes on, and give guidance and feedback, which is often very useful for the voiceover artist. If there are preferred takes, the VO can then mark them as they go along. Once you're happy with the recordings and you feel you've got enough takes to work with, the VO will then do a little bit of work on them, providing them in the required format. I must emphasize here again professional voiceover artist and the difference. A professional will be delivering them to you clean, without any background noise, without any flaws or anything intrusive, anything which is getting in the way of those recordings, making it easier for you and your editor to just get the job done straight away. A less than professional voiceover will be providing lower quality audio, in some cases barely usable. Any pro VO worth their salt will have no problem whatsoever delivering a short recording example of your text, which shows that they get and understand your brand at that point and the message you want to put across. It gives you an example to hear those words out loud, read by the voice, and also a chance for you and your editor to hear the recording quality that will be delivered to you, whether it's a live connected session or if the recordings are being delivered to you after the session, with you having directed them over Zoom audio or on the phone. Something else I must mention here, of course, is time zones. Many of my clients are based in the States and I'm UK-based. Sometimes this means working quite unsociable hours. So please bear this in mind at the preparation stage. Both parties need to be mindful of this and work to a convenient time slot. One final thing in the section about preparing for the session is delivery of the script in advance. Now, I have had it many times when a client has sent me the script 15 minutes or maybe half an hour before a session. We then begin a live session together whilst I'm accessing the script in my email and then perhaps printing it off with zero prep time. Just because you've sent it half an hour before doesn't mean that the voiceover would have checked the email that second and read it, because in reality, they're likely to be in another session. Even if you sent it 3 hours before, and also bearing in mind the time zone difference, that might not be enough. So do try, please, 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 to get scripts in advance as much as possible. And check that the voiceover has received it, and if they have any questions about it, they can get back to you prior to the session. This helps to negate any awkwardness that may come in the session. I've had situations where one person thinks that someone else has sent the script and they think that that person should have sent the script, and actually there's no script. We're 10 minutes into the session and then they locate it on Dropbox, but it's the wrong one. If the script is a little bit tricky in terms of terminology, acronym, phrasing, etc., then the VO would benefit from more prep time. Be prepared to give pronunciation guidance too if needed. So please help us with this and help yourself too.